All right, so now we're basically doing a little bit of the part two of the last one, but this motherfucker over here is now over in a completely different country, as you can see from his background. So, Austin, where are you at right now?
I'm in Bali under this tree. Um, there was nowhere else to sit, so I found this spot under a tree. So I'm in Bali again, which is basically where I think I'm going to be residing for quite a
So, how long are you thinking for
while.
this time?
No idea. I booked one way last time, and I booked one time. But but this time, like I came back, dude. I was set up within like 10 hours. Like I got here at 6 p.m. by the morning when I woke up. Like I was like, I arrived. I had the motorbike set up. I had everything. Like everything went straight to the gym. I know the gym guys. They really sound equipment over. I am really apologetic to anyone that isn't seeing me swing anything rusty or broken anymore because that is what I like training with. Like the brutality of what was is totally like I can do it out here. I can do it. It's going to take some work, but I can make it look broken and worn and ruined, right?
All
But
gulag.
for now, yeah. But for now, like the content and stuff will be slightly more refined. But I'm eternally grateful for Obsidian for getting in clubs. I mean, they got to 24 kilos, and the mace is 24 kilos, so it's substantial enough.
Okay.
So I'm super grateful for that. They never say no to getting sandbags in, and this time I managed to bring a whole array from 60 kilos to 120, so
Nice.
I can set up like that. The biggest problem, I think the clubs aren't a problem. The kettlebells, like they're all pussy ass kettlebells. Like,
Mm.
I mean, the clubs are heavier than kettlebells. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
For you especially. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's a big problem, right? So yeah, it's going to be a lot of mace clubs
Nothing wrong with that.
and sandbags. But I do have all those war weapons before. I do have all of those. So
Nice.
all the concrete shit is like sat there waiting. So I think I'm gonna split it between a space outside of the gym and a space inside the gym. And you can't train out here. This time of year is actually not too bad right now, but before it was savage. It was so humid. It was nuts.
So it's not
It
necessarily
was
like it's hot. It's just humid as hell over there.
it's like literally like when it's humid, it's like 100 degree, 100% humidity. It doesn't go below 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. And it stays like that with day and night.
Oh fuck no.
That's without that's without that's without the mosquitoes that just eat you alive at that time of year as
Oh
well.
no. I would
Um,
be a beast over there. I got the O negative blood, so they over here out where I live in the summertime, they already feast on me. I can only imagine how it would be down over there.
Mate, and that's if you don't get dengue fever as well.
Uh, it sounds
It's
like a
just
great
not a fun
area, but now it's
environment.
like I sound more like Louisiana over here in Long Island with that kind of stuff.
Oh, mate, it's just pure. Yeah, but you thing is in Louisiana you have like we have mod cons, but like out here you basically like, you don't go to a medical center unless you've had a motorbike crash again, or you get dengue
Yeah,
fever,
yeah. Let's try out the
or
crash this time.
you need an IV drip if you're so dehydrated that you're basically dying. Like literally, you don't go to the doctors. You just go to the farm. The pharmacy's wicked out here. Like they actually know their shit. They actually want to help you. And if you do take a drug to fix something like, say, you have been bitten or you're rotten to death, like I had last time, like my ball sack started rotting off. Like, man, like it's like you get one thing and then someone else comes. Like the number of people I speak to, who's like, oh yeah, I got Barley Belly, and then the next week, like some shit's like rotting on them. Like it's just when your immune system gets dropped like
Yeah.
down, like it all comes in one go and you're just dying. They're really good in the pharmacy. Like
All right. So it's nice to know that they actually care about you guys out there. I remember you were talking about that the last time. Like it really wasn't much
yeah,
of a hassle for you to get much treatment at all.
no, obviously you have to pay for it, but this is where you have travel insurance.
True.
Except for the don't cover for motorbike crashes, so they know everyone's going to crash a motorbike.
Yeah, so let's try to stay away from that happening again for you. Well, the last thing I need to hear
But
is
it's
that you fall
okay
over
though.
again.
It's okay because I look like a GTA character now. I got a full blackout helmet, shittest bike. Um,
We got real life GTA characters before GTA 6.
yeah, man. Like I'm just rolling. Honestly, I'm just rolling around like at the traffic lights, like scrolling like
Just
that.
cruising.
Like no one can see who I am. Just like tank top, death metal vibes, blackout helmet, shitty banged up, fucking
Just,
Honda,
just
like
cruising.
motorbike, just cruising, patrolling the streets.
And that doesn't sound too bad to me. It sounds like a pretty
Oh,
cozy
it's
life
great.
over
It is until you're getting lung cancer behind a truck in front of you.
there. Yeah, it's inhaling all the damn fumes.
There's a black soot coming out the back of it. And you're like,
Completely covered up on you by the time
or
you're
you
done.
go like inland in Bali, and like the roads are not what you describe as a road. I mean, let's put it this way: a line on the road is far fetched. You don't have lines on the road; it's just an road. If a bike fits down it, it's a road. And like you're going like up a hill like that through like forest shit or
Oh
whatever, and
shit.
you're just going up a hill with some like truck in front of you, black shit coming out, but you got shit bike, and then you can't go fast enough to get around it up the hill. So you're going like 15 minutes just trying to get past the bike.
At that point,
What's
you're
the
better off just
truck?
trying to run up with the bike.
Yeah, man, it's just so funny. It's so bad you can't make it up, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Funniest
I
thing.
can't imagine running throughout that whole thing. Like, the hills, it's got like
You
throwing
don't.
away the
You run
dust
on
to
the
go for a
beach. You
hill
run
running
on the
back.
beach. You just run barefoot on the beach.
It's not a bad view. You're gonna go running at
Oh,
least.
100%. Well, the photo I sent you last night, I mean,
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
must have helped.
I'm very jealous of that view, man. That's one of the most like gorgeous nighttime views on the beach. You got a clear sky. You got the moon
The
right there.
whole the whole thing, genuinely, the whole beach was lit up, wasn't it, in the photo I sent by
Yeah,
the full moon itself. But the
yeah.
full moon literally is the whole. There's no like light like shining on it.
No, that's the moon
It's just
itself. That's giving you the light.
it's crazy. It's so there's something. It's such a like mystical element. And I woke up this morning. Obviously, it's a different part of the sky. I was going to take a photo, but I couldn't quite. But literally, the full moon's still there with the sun coming up this morning, and it's nuts. It's nuts. It's like so mystical. It's
Oh,
so mystical. Like no one here. The only thing that's awake is the street dogs trying to fight your legs. Get on the motorbike. Other than that, it's just peaceful.
see now what's like the cost of living over there? So you said you're staying out there for a little while. Like, are you staying at a hotel? Are you staying at an Airbnb? Where are you staying
Uh,
at?
you just stay in what we call homestays. So they're on Airbnb. It's basically like someone that has like 8 spaces, if that makes sense, with like the bathroom. And it depends how you can take this to basically a homestay where you're going to get more than that. But like, dude, I spend the gyms out here are like the Ritz.
Really?
Like, yeah. So like the every gym here, every decent gym that we would sign up to has a cold plunge like standard. At least one of each,
So
right? At
they're really
least.
focused on recovery also, not just enhancing the
Yeah,
body.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is like I see recovery in that. I mean, once again, like half of the shit is just fad. Like people are like people will say to me, "Oh, have you done cold plunges?" And I'm like, "Yes, I used to sit in cold water in my bath in my flat in England in Nottingham. And I used to put ice in the freezer. Like, I used to get 2 inch size like this size, like mug size blocks of ice and make them in the freezer. And by the morning, I get them all out, chuck them in the bath, and sit in there with them. And I did that for 4 years at 6 a.m. every day, right?
Oh,
Or after work. And it's like people coming up to me, have you done a cold plunge? I heard it's really good for your health. And I'm like, oh, you know, like, what? Because you read a news article, some fucking influencer on the internet kind of shit.
no, it's not
It's
a
like,
news article. These people aren't reading news articles. They're getting all their videos, their shit off of the videos from TikTok and Instagram.
that's what I'm saying, did influencers and shit. They've got all of this. So people doing cold plunges, this, that, and I'm like, you haven't done a cold plunge unless you've been out in like the sticks somewhere, like in a river or something. That's a cold plunge in
I'll
nature.
say, well, we were doing a cold plunge.
That's a different thing.
This was January last year, the New Year's Day plunge that we did. We went over to the beach over here in January. It was like 1 degrees outside. or somewhere like 1 to 2 degrees, and then we
It's
went
cold.
right into
The
the
air
water.
temperature feels colder than the water temperature.
Yeah.
Like I used to sit in England, which is not like as we've said before, where it gets fucking cold where we are, and I'm sat there like in the bath looking at my breasts because it's all hard tiled walls. So the bathroom is literally 0 degrees,
Huh.
and I'm sat there. I can see my breasts in the air, which means that the air is actually colder than the water I'm sat in with the blocks of ice and stuff.
So as soon as you're getting out, when you're getting out, it's even worse.
Yeah, and it's like people are like, have you done a cold plunge? I'm like, it's not a cold plunge. You sat here and you're paying $200 a month for the membership in the gym. They're really expensive. That's the only thing. Gym membership is that amount of money. You've got a nice sauna job back in after, right? In a nice refined little like cold plunge, right? Don't get me wrong, it's cold, but then you're pretty warm pretty quickly when it's 30 degrees out of 100% humidity, as opposed to air temperature colder than the water, right? You
Right.
have to run the bar, do all the strenuous shit. However you doing it, when you got a barrel or you got a whatever, like you got to set it all up, or you got to go out in the sticks to get out in nature or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so you
It's
got
different.
people here that have
It's
got
different.
money. Like they get the thermic effects of the cold. Obviously, don't get me wrong, but it's all about integrating and being
The hardness of what the
for
cold plunge is
yeah.
supposed to do
It's the
mentally.
hardiness of it. It's the hardiness of it. You know. And if you've got that hardiness, trust me, you won't be doing it every single day. You'll be grateful on the days you don't have to. You don't make yourself do it because you feel it's more recovery based not doing it
Yeah.
because you're not fucking yourself. Because it's a stimulus. Like freezing cold water, your body thinks it's dying.
And it's like there is like an argument to it fighting off the inflammation, but the one thing that what irritates me was what people will do is that when you do it after your workout, you completely killed all the
100%.
inflammation in your body. Like if
You
you're
don't
gonna
grow. You
do
don't
that on an
get
active
benefit
recovery
from it.
day.
Yeah, or do it before you lift.
Yeah, before you lift, get the
If you
body all
get cold
shocked and
before
woken
you
up.
lift, you do it before you lift, mate. I so before when I about 4 or 5 years ago, I used to cold plunge and then train. So I get out of freezing water and then go lift.
Huh. So it's like straight from the cold water, you go
I
right to lift.
just straight out. Now it doesn't have to be like the biggest, hardest cold plunge ever, but getting it so like you feel like that surface touch is like cold, so you kind of feel how else can I describe it? Viking cold for a Viking cold workout, should I say? Like,
And listen,
you don't do complicated stuff. And at that point, I wasn't swinging clubs or maces, but I was using sandbags and kettlebells. So very simple shit like just banging out high volume kettlebell swing, like
mm,
when I'm 32, or just something like I used to just do this. I just do ground to shoulder. I just do push ups and ground to shoulder, like on a Tabata. So I just pick it up and put it on shoulder, pick it up, put it on the shoulder, like alternate shoulders. You know, just like it's £100 bag or whatever. Just
yeah.
rip it, put it on really low complexity, high intensity shit, dude. You don't get any lactic acid. Like you can double your sets of push-ups.
And you burn a
You can
fuck ton of
double
calories
everything.
too.
Yeah, like your cortisol's up, so you push through. You don't feel shit, and your lactic threshold higher, and you don't get sore because you've got the inflammation.
It's
So
perfect.
I used to do that at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning before work. If I wasn't going to the gym that day, I would do that. Holy shit! That 8 minutes basically, like you do 2 minute cold plunge, dry off within a minute, then you put a towel around you, and then just do like 6 minutes of Tabata, just something like that. Whether it's just
And see,
anything
like
low complexity, high intensity, and just rip it.
that's right there. That point is the perfect example of that. You do not need a full hour or 2 hours of sitting in the gym and just
Yeah.
cranking out weight. Like you really get aggressive with lighter weight, higher rep and volume training.
Tabata, body, other than pull ups, pretty much any Tabata training like with body weight or light like weight you're picking up, you'll be accumulating 100 reps over a period of like the 4 minutes of doing Tabata.
Mm.
Like 20 on 10 off, like push-ups, you will do if you're in any decent level of fitness, you'll be hitting minimum 80 to 120 push-ups in that period, right? So you set yourself like 8 rounds, set yourself a goal, or say 8 push-ups every 20 seconds for your average Joe. For me, like I'd be doing like 20, 25, 30 in one set in that 20. seconds, and then after about 4 rounds, and you start flaking up, and then it's just a bit of a on the grind stroke. You get what I'm saying? You would
Yeah.
accumulate to 120. But in that period of time, you metabolically have ramped up. You've done that. If you do a 8 minute one, what you did between air squats, which you have no reason to stop squatting, you're not going to hit fatigue in 8 rounds. Air squats or kettlebell swings and push-ups, for example, you will easily hit 250 plus reps, having done a cold plunge in a period of 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops.
Mm.
That sort of thing, 4 days a week, is enough to change your entire concept of what it feels like to fit. That there is mentally, physically, and like spiritually in tune with what your body requires it needs. It gives it the right dosage of energy without breaking. It's making it and not breaking it. And you can do that every day, no limitation. There's no limitations to that, right?
It's very good for beginners too. Like for the people that are
Totally.
very interested that see both both of our types of training. That right there is one of the best introductions to the training style itself. Just because you're not going crazy heavy, so you don't get to really experience the real soreness of what it can be. But what you are getting is the perfect balance between strength and conditioning, because you are going to be working your muscles, but you're not going to be just focusing on heavy cardio. You're going to be focusing a little bit more on building on some strength while you're getting your cardio, while you're getting your core, and while you're getting conditioning in all
Thinking
at one
less and
shot.
doing more.
Exactly. So one of the things that we're going to be doing today also, it's actually the first time that I've ever done this with somebody as well. We both put up polls, or not polls, the questionnaires recently on our Instagrams over the last couple of weeks since the last conversation that we had. And we're actually going to be doing a live answering of all the questions that you guys sent over both on your page and my page. Well, let's see where I can pull the. I'm gonna pull up
We'll
the.
try and answer as many as we can. We collected them, put them
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
bunch them
exactly.
up. Hopefully, it answers the collective.
The goal is to try to answer as many as possible. I don't want to guarantee that we're going to get to everybody's question, but I do want to guarantee that we will get to a good portion of the questions. I want to say, depending on how depth in detail that we answer these, we will definitely go ahead and try to see. I don't want to. We might be able to, but we may miss out on a couple. But I'll start us
I think
off
they'll
with
cross over. I think
yeah,
they'll cross over most of them. A lot of them are kind of similar neck of the woods. So
yeah. The on my end over here, the first one is actually answered already. Basically, the cost of living for Bali and how to what's it called? What's the cost of average and what is the how much do you need to make in order to stay comfortably living in Bali?
okay, comfortably living, that's completely subjective. That depends on what you see as essential. Some people think rolling around on a fucking Kawasaki Ninja is an essential. I don't. So depends what you're spending your money on. You can live on here at probably about for $1,500, excluding the flight to get out of here. Excluding that, once you're here, you're here. There's a few other complications. This and the other. Depends what you're doing. Depends what gym you sign up to. You know, the list goes on. But generally speaking, and it depends on what food you're eating. I mean, I eat a full carnivore diet. The whole diet out here is a different thing. Like I have to completely same but different. It's still carnivore, but it's the same but different. So it's like you can go on a $1,500 a month, but
Okay.
that's not like your what you is comfortable in the sense of like the gyms and stuff is like elite tier, but you're not like going out splashing out on everything you want to splash out on. So that makes sense.
Okay. So I think for most
So you
people
can.
that'd be fairly livable.
That makes sense. Like, it depends if you got your head fucking screwed on or not, right? You know what I mean? Like, what is an actual essential, right?
Yeah.
Uh, if you're going
Aside from
out buying,
food,
if you're
aside
going
from
out
bathroom
buying,
essentials, aside from
yeah,
like the water,
yeah,
yeah,
like, I mean, literally, like, if you're buying protein shakes every single day, you're spunking $30 a week on
that's a
protein
luxury
shakes.
still.
Well, that's not an essential.
No.
And that a different conversation. If you think that a protein shake is more essential than eating actual chicken or red meat, for example, fish or eggs or grass-fed butter, you need to actually get your shit in order.
There's
There's
other vitamins and minerals that you
minimal
get from food.
nutrition. There's minimal nutrition in a protein shake other than the whey protein itself.
Yeah,
Right? There's no minerals. But
it is.
people think that you need protein, protein, protein. If you're eating meat, you're getting enough protein.
Yeah,
Cut out the whey protein shakes, swap that out for actual equivalent in protein from animal foods, and then suddenly what's it change? What's your energy change and all that shit, you know?
yeah. The one thing I'll say is that if it's easier for people to who are on the constant go and can't really get a meal in, obviously I'm always going to be the one to say get a quick shake. If you're somebody who's
Yeah,
on,
better than nothing.
yeah,
Protein requirement, but at the end of the day, if
there's
you're
so
eating
many
an
other
animal-based
options out there
diet,
right now. You got plenty of availability between protein snacks. There's beef snacks also. There's also now there's plenty of really there's a variety of options for people now. It's not only just the whey protein for you to drink now. Like I actually am I'm a big fan of the one drink from Jock. I'm looking like a total fanboy right here now between the hat, the fucking flag behind me over here. But their protein powder, I tend to push the most on anybody or protein drinks just because it's from a grass-fed whey source and it's also sourced from egg protein and it's also sourced from casein as well. So it's a multiple part protein and it's also infused with digestive enzymes and
eggs are the yeah,
probiotics. So it's one of the only
eggs are
protein
the most
powders I love.
digestible.
And
Yeah,
it tastes good. And
I
it's
get
also
that.
a monk fruit.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I
It's
mean,
a good
my
protein, but it's also something good for blood sugar regulation. And the one thing I'll say is that I will always advocate whole foods and getting your protein and getting all your minerals and everything from whole food sources. If you can't, or if you're someone who is either a trucker, you're constantly on the go, if you're somebody who is in the nursing field and you have a 15 to 16-hour workday, by all means get one or two protein shakes.
totally.
Then
But
that's
do yeah, I totally agree. However, I will say to those people that say I have to do that, this, that, and the other, I say, hey, you don't have to be eating all the time.
yeah.
Stop fucking eating all the time. Right? That's the first thing. Secondly, there's girls that are coached, there's women that are coached, right? They do a better job than most men do.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and I'm talking like I've got one mate, right, and in Bali, he suffered from a bunch of this, that, and the other going on, a lot of like mental health, dietary issues, this, that, and the other. And I turned around and I said, just trust me, take the plunge. And she had a dietitian, right, and she had anxiety from the dietitian's like, counting down the calorie qualities, right. And I turned around and said, do this. She's literally known as like egg lady now. She carries boiled eggs. She literally gets the eggs, right? She boils them, right? Just like she's probably about a 55, 60 girl, right? 5'4". She used to struggle putting weight on this, that, and the other. Now, like all that shit's resolved. She's got no anxiety. All of her nutrition is fixed. Anxieties over it. Doesn't count anything. She can eyeball stuff correctly based on intuition and appetite. She'd go out and she'd just get up in the morning. She'd go surf in the morning and she'd bring 6 boiled eggs. To the point where she actually brings the box that she bought the eggs in, she boils them, right, in the shell and then puts them back in the box, protect them, and then takes them back out again. And it's like, if you've got people like that out there,
Yeah.
and how simple that is actually less effort than going down to the supermarket or finding someone that does protein shakes, right, to bring a couple of boiled eggs with you, right? Done. And no, you
Yeah.
don't have to stress about eating all the time because when you eat protein shakes and stuff, that's important.
There is
That's the whole point of it. When you eat red meat, for example, it takes like 10 hours. If you're eating a kilo of red meat like I do, that will take 10 hours. When I wake up in the morning, that shit ain't even fully absorbed. That's still in my gut. When I don't eat all day, I'm still, the fire's still burning. It's got fuel on it. You got to understand that. Like, people seem to think just because I've eaten, it doesn't mean that it's eaten, right? It doesn't just go in and fall out the other end.
yeah.
Like, you don't need to be eating all the time. If you're eating enough fat, then your energy is just like a consistent drip feed. That's why
That's
when you
another
go,
concept that people don't fully understand. The fats. People are very, very, very neglecting of their fats and how much they actually correlate with your hormones as well. And
your
when you,
entire health is based on it.
yeah,
Like,
it's
literally.
I'll say that there's so many other options for getting your protein in no matter what. If you're somebody who is like even from the whole food sources, because there is canned tuna, there is boiled eggs, there is the chicken wraps that you can get, there is the steak wrap that you can make. There's a
Exactly.
variety of options that you can do on the go. So that's like I said before. I'm always gonna be an advocate for getting your whole food sources no matter what. protein shakes do play a role, but I honestly, like I said before, if I had it my way, I wish everyone would get, their protein goal from food, which I think that also answered one of the questions that we had on here because it was either from protein shakes or from whole food sources. Which one do we prefer? So
Well,
there we go.
I think for guys like you and I, like when you got a metabolism, maybe like my metabolism's like rammed, and you're just a fucking oak tree. So, when you have a set amount
Damn near
going
almost a
in,
diabetic oak tree with how fat I used to be also. So it's
yeah, but oak tree, yeah, but it doesn't blow over in the wind still, whether it's a diabetic oak tree or not.
really
Um,
anchored in.
yeah, like it's locked into the foundation. But either way, like it does get to a point where you're like 6'3" or something. Like
Yeah.
whether you're a big dude like you that lifts, or you're even a strong man like this, like having protein shakes on top of you're eating
On top of the
physically.
food, yeah.
Yeah, that's when it's like it comes after.
Yeah.
This is not like wake up in the morning have a protein shake. This is waking up in which I don't ever eat breakfast. My breakfast this morning was black coffee and chili.
Mm.
Um,
Wait, wait,
so
wait,
like
wait, wait. Repeat that one. Repeat that again.
my breakfast is black coffee and chili. Um,
Okay, okay.
I don't eat breakfast ever. Most of the time you see me, as you know, I'm fasted. I don't eat anything. I don't
And
eat at the end of
I
the
can
day.
agree with that. I can
Like,
say I'm not a real big breakfast eater. The only time I've ever really genuinely eat breakfast is when I go on vacation with my girl because she eats literally from
women are different.
the
Women are
completely
different.
different
Their
source. She
metabolism is different.
the completely like from the second she wakes up all the way till she's getting ready to go to bed. She out eats
But
me some days.
they nibble on shit. Like they have smaller meals. My little sister's the same. She goes, I've tried it. She's into her health, and she's like, I tried it, and I just feel so lightheaded after about. I just don't feel right. My hormones. I feel stressed. I feel anxious. I don't feel driven. I feel stressed. It's a different. Men, they thrive
Yeah.
with the aggression and the hunger because they're designed to go out and hunt. Women, hormonally, their body, they're literally just going like, "Where's the food gone? I'm dying." The bloke that's meant, primarily speaking, the bloke that was meant to be providing for me is shit at his job because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Now the kids are hungry. The kids are hungry. I'm hungry. I'm Mardy. And now I'm going to go find another bloke that can go get food for me.
That could actually feed
And
my
then they
hunger.
bugger off. Yeah. It's a totally different thing. Totally different thing. And then you've got the whole monthly situation as well, which dictates what their drive is
Yeah.
as well. And like they have to run with it. And like, but
Being able to get
do you
around
know
with that
what?
shit, not easy.
Yeah, yeah, but then again, you speak to women like the whole this different conversation. And probably won't go into given the viewing is mostly
Yeah.
men. Although I find that men actually care about it more than women. Women are very blasé and they're just taking another contraception pill and all this stuff, right? They're just happy to do that. I mean, the women out here don't even know what contraception is basically. It's in the form of like orally, other than a condom, they don't know what it is. They don't use it in Asia. They honor the natural cycle of the body, and none of them have period issues. None of
Mm.
them. Like in the West, it's like there's so many women are missing their period or they get painful periods and stuff like that. There is
Yeah.
not a thing. In the East, they actually honor the cycle of the female body, right? And it's like that. But like the male cycle is only looking for daily spectrum. The testosterone is up in the morning, jackhammer in the afternoon. They flake off and they want to sleep. They get shit done in the morning and they flake off in the evening and chill out. Women, their cycles every month.
See,
Their existence is partakes in a monthly cycle, not a daily cycle. If that
yeah,
makes sense, you will see the kind of the curve. Like if you look at the curve in terms of the energy and the fluctuations, it's kind of
yeah.
like all happens in a day for a man, and then for a woman, it happens over a month. If that makes sense, if you look at the curve on the graph. Um,
And then what I'll say is that the woman, especially here, and I have actually really hitting on the head when it comes down to the periods, because there's plenty of girls, especially when they start going into bodybuilding, it really
oh, don't, yeah,
they
it's
lose
messed
their
up. It's
periods.
messed
Like,
up.
and I don't mean to throw her under the bus here, but my girl, when she competed in bodybuilding a couple of years ago, uh, she lost her period for a few months. Like, and then
When it becomes a year, it's more problematic. Like the body doesn't know what to do with it. But the
yeah,
interesting thing is, the interesting thing is, and it's not, it's interesting, but it's not, it's nothing new. You just put them on an animal-based carnivore diet, and you make them eat bacon and eggs in the morning, and in 1 month, I guarantee 2 months, maybe three tops, and come back. Every single girl that I've ever spoken to that goes, I haven't had a period, I say eat bacon, eggs, and avocado every single morning for a month. What happens? They go, yeah, I have a first period.
Their
Every single
fats,
time.
the fats are finally all
Because
back. Yep.
the fats are bad. Eat fat. Sack off the carbohydrate. You do not require a single gram of carbohydrate. That's your choice if you want to eat it, but it's fucking shit for you. Like this is why all these bodybuilders. It doesn't matter how it doesn't matter how hard they train, how often they train. They practically all have health implications later on, all related to blood sugar
Yeah.
when they're 50.
It's also
Straight
the
up.
combination
Because of
of
the
just like
vast amount of
depleting.
carbohydrate.
They
Yeah.
deplete all their
Completely.
bodies of like of every
Yeah.
single mineral. But by the time there's like we just had a recent competition here not that long ago, and a majority of the people in my gym who do compete, you see the people who did it right, meaning they didn't fully deplete their bodies of everything. And then you see the people who this is like their first time competing or this is the first time coming around, and oof, you can see how frail, you can see how much energy is taken away from them, and it's all due to respect to them because if you can suffer like that to get your body physique like that, by all means, good on you. But I'm
For what
somebody
though?
who
I
I
don't
need
get
my
it.
food.
For what? For what? No, but is for what? For what? Like I mean, this is my stance on it, and I'll say it loud and clear. It's just egotistical. It's
Wait, I'm
just
sorry. Can you
it's
repeat
what
that?
I
You
call
cut away from that part. Can you
it's
repeat
just,
that one more
yeah,
time?
it's just all egotistical in my opinion. It's just insecurities. It's just screaming insecurity. I don't care if it upsets anyone, if this is someone off. It's just insecurity. It's like if that's what you want to do, do it. But at the end of the day, if your appearance is more valuable than
Mm.
the lack of thought you put into what comes later on in the future, right? It's not you that sucks. Say you had a kid, right? How's your kid going to feel when you've got a load of health implications when you're 55? Because you were a pro bodybuilder or some shit like that. Or a lot of these people think they're bodybuilding, but what they actually did was just went to the gym and they're fucking flacking around on cages or some shit like a retard. And it's like, all for what? And then you're going, I'm cutting and I'm bulking. Cutting and bulking, mate, you've looked the same for fucking 3 years. You've looked the same for 3 years. How can you go to the gym for 3 years and still look like a piece of shit? Like, what the fuck have you been doing? Or you're worried about cutting and bulking, and you haven't got an ounce of muscle on you, right? All this shit. And then you've got people at the high end of this, and you've got someone that's living a bodybuilder lifestyle and fucking himself up, and he's just going to stay skinny fat for the rest of his life, skinny. And then you've got the other end where he's been doing it for time, but then it gets to a point where the only reason why you have to take gear is not actually to do with training. It's because you're so fucking depleted in your hormones. You're not eating enough saturated fat, right? Because you're eating the fucking white rice, chicken, white fish, and broccoli diet, and you wonder why you got health problems, right? And now
No
you're having
fats
to
at
take
all
all this
whatsoever.
gear, yeah, because you've got no fat that your body naturally would have produced testosterone from. Because you're lifting enough to produce enough testosterone. You're stimulating the system enough, right? But then you're taking all this gear now to compromise for that, and then you wonder why your bollocks don't work anymore. And then you're on gear for the rest of your life. And then you're 50 years old, and then you've got some fucking diabetic issue coming down the line because you ate so much rice, but didn't actually do enough to utilize that because you're so focused on muscle tissue. The list goes on. And all of that, as I said, the list goes on, all of that to look like something because it's all bark and no fucking bite.
Yeah.
Period.
I
That's it.
I can't agree because for me, it's again, this is for what we're saying. This part is opinion based. This is our opinion. I also feel that it's great to have a great looking body, but what's the use if you can't wipe your own ass? What's the use
Yeah.
if you can't scratch your own back? What's the use if you can't bring your hands above your head and then even just put them behind your head over here? Like if you
That's
have
it. A
no
pair of us right
mobility,
now. We can do that, and I wonder why. I wonder how that happened.
yeah,
I wonder how we learned to do
there's
that.
people who can't do this in my gym. They get stuck right here, and in gyms, they get stuck to this point that they can't bring their hands any higher because their shoulders and their muscles became too tight from all the years of bodybuilding and
Mm.
neglecting mobility and true strength. And there is a value to doing both at the end of the day. If you're somebody who wants to have that mentality of going down the bodybuilding route, that's great. That's great for you. But you should also complement it by doing mobility, complement it by doing the
Essential.
harder work. I fully
It's
agree. If you're somebody
essential.
who has a discipline to get into the fucking gym and do all the hard work, and by all means, eat right into a manner, include more healthier fats, include more mobility, and include more traditional strength training versus just making your body look good. Have your body look good and perform good at the same time, and you'll have a
Yeah,
fucking outstanding life.
yeah, 100. Yeah, of course, of course. It's like what we're saying is that the compromise is not worth it because I don't think people quite understand because they look at people on the internet again, which obviously haven't been photoshopped. There's absolutely nothing, they don't tamper with the images or anything like that. They're not on gear. They'll tell you that it's just living their life. They're all tan, jacked up, and they're living the most energetic life when the reality is they're walking around like a damp moth cleaning the floor. Like they're just dragging themselves around. They've got no energy, no fucking libido. You ask their girlfriend how shit's going, and you ask a bloke who's got a woman girlfriend how their sex life is, for example. You ask them how much
The
vitality is
trend
between the pair
sex,
of them. Yeah, man.
trend below
Right?
sex.
You're literally like, as Ronnie Coleman would say, just your basics. D-ball and your trend. Um, and I,
But that's
like,
a perfect example right there. Look at Ronnie Coleman. Look at what he's done to his body, and look at that. He
he
can't
can
walk
still,
without a cane.
dude, he can still use the pec deck.
I know he can still work out, but he can't
He
fucking
can,
fucking
he
wipe
can
his
do the pec
ass.
deck. He can do the
Yeah,
pec deck.
it's so fucked up. Like he's looked at as the golden standard as like bodybuilding and the golden standard of powerlifting. To an extent, yes, I fully understand that, but also not to the extent of that your rest of your life you're fucked up. You can't move.
And the thing is, well, he's such a good dude as well. He's such a sound dude.
Yeah, but now
He's a cool as
he's
fuck
a
dude.
sound dude who can't fucking move on his own the way he used to or the way he
Totally.
should be as a normal person his age. This past weekend when I was competing at the fucking strength games, I was competing against someone in their 70s.
And that's what the Mesa Pagada, before we go into that, that is the pinnacle of health. Bodyweight movements like push-ups and putting in swinging over your head is an eternal life skill. This is like
Uh-huh.
learning to write with a pen. The shit. This is the foundation. These are human skills. Like when we learn to write scripture on the wall, when we start to use tools to practice the art of war fundamentally, when we practice all of these different skill sets, that's one of them. That's what got us where we need to be right now.
Yeah. Exactly. And people don't
Do
understand is
it.
that if you do the mace and the club swings, people if you really build the mind muscle connection behind it, you pick up on it fast because it's a natural movement for our bodies to be
Yeah.
going through. You just can't be muscling it. Everyone wants to muscle it and just fucking throw it like a hammer. Like, no, you got to give it a little bit of a dance. You got to swing with it a little bit. You got to give the fucking mace a little bit of a sweet dance at the end of the day, too. You can't just fucking muscle
I
around.
think Ronnie Coleman did it, mate, because he goes, whip, whip, baby. So that's kind of what he's doing, like, just flowing, like, you know.
uh, all right.
But
So
no, it's essential. It's essential, that stuff. And
very. And that's actually
and I will say, yeah, and I will say to everyone out there, you can try and learn it yourself, but trust me, you will learn 4 months worth of fucking around if you get someone to teach you in a month. Get them to just shortcut it, get them to teach the fundamentals, and within 4 months, you'll practically feel as if you've known it your whole life. If you just try and shortcut it and you're there like a chimpanzee with a stick, wafting
like
this
I did
thing
when I
around
first
your
started
head,
learning.
yeah, exactly. And you like me, Tim, everyone else that teaches this stuff, just make the investment if you want to do it because your health will benefit you. It's like I think it's genuinely everyone will agree that does it. The only bit of equipment that anyone with any injury can use, regardless, even if their wrists and their elbows hurt.
Hmm.
This stuff is the only thing. You can't use kettlebells all the time. You can't use sandbags. The list goes on. You cannot do all of this stuff. The Garda, mace, club, balava, rugby, whatever you want to use, that swinging overhead motion that integrates your feet, top of your head, the head over foot, that is the only thing that anyone in any situation, even in a wheelchair, you could find a way to swing something over your head, right? It's the
Yeah.
only thing that you could pick up a mass and a weight in any situation you could do.
And you get
That
total
tells you
engagement of your
everything.
body.
Yeah. the whole body, your toes are literally like clinging on for dear life when you're swinging a heavy garter,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, well, yeah,
That tells you
especially
everything
after
you need to
yesterday, I
know.
felt that. Yes,
Everything you
yesterday's
need to know.
yeah, yesterday's the fucking 52 pound single arm swings. That shit
Oh, mate, yeah, that's
that
heavy
that
duty.
that killed me. I'm not gonna lie, that shit killed me.
When I did that about a week and a half ago with a 20. It's the same weight. And dude, like you're just with your elbow joint in there,
Oh,
like from literally because you get the only way to
I feel it
swing it
all
is
right
stack
here right
it.
now. I feel it
Yeah,
all right here.
you're long, so that you're like stretched. Like
It's
I'm hunkered down a bit more, but like you have the only way to do it, you have to pay attention and close that gap off and stack
yeah.
it. You're out here winging, shit don't work. It
Nope.
rips your
You
liver.
gotta get to this point right
Rip.
here.
You have
Elbow
to
to
go
the
here
sky
and then shift that hip and rip it down and no cross.
and torque that shit.
You have to create that power with that.
Exactly. So this is actually a great question here. Currently no access to heavy equipment. Any body weight alternatives for club swings? So I
Hammer.
really
Get
like
a
any.
sledgehammer.
Yeah, get a sledgehammer. Yeah, get a sledgehammer.
Get a sledgehammer. Be careful because it fucking hurts when you smack the back of your kneecap with it. But
Yeah,
you know, go
been
to
there
the
before.
DIY store. Go to the DIY store. Try them all out. You know, like when you go to a car showroom, go for a little test drive. Test out the sledgehammers,
Although I will say,
and then come home and use it.
Amazon makes some pretty damn good cheap equipment right now too, as well. So if you're somebody who doesn't
Mate, you
even,
can make them.
yeah, you can even
Make
make a
it.
mace. Yeah, just get a ball, get some cement, get a fucking stick, put it in the cement, and let it dry out, and then
I
break it
think
open.
I think I think using scaffold pole.
Which one?
If you that scaffold
Hmm.
scaffold, like so you get like a really heavy, you get a full body club then because it's steel. If you get like a short body like that, right, you can create a balaga out of it,
Ah, okay, okay,
and then the
okay.
weight's more consistent. But if you want something with a pendulum on it, obviously use something like bamboo, like I did like I do in Bali, like short lever it. You just get like the paint pots that like you paint the house, like something like that. You put concrete in that. You put a couple of nails in the bamboo, like so it splays like inside in the bamboo. You put a couple of nails in so they don't slip out. Stick it in, fill it up with concrete, smash the bucket off, done.
Hmm. Very simple.
But if you want to make it heavy, if you obviously you can't sit bamboo down the bamboo because it's got segments and you can't sit
Yeah,
concrete in it. And also, if you drop it, it'll probably just shatter. Like you just crumble the inside of it. So don't drop the concrete on the floor because it will break off. So it's about 20, 24 hours. In Bali, it doesn't take long. It's so hot, but you know what I mean. But like the scaffold, you can sit concrete in. You can make the full body of it heavy.
yeah. Because with as far as like body weight exercises, I really don't know any. I mean, if you're really looking to build like a better upper body with just calisthenics and body weight, you can always go with the big three, which is dips, push-ups, and pull-ups. Those are always the big three that if you're looking to build up like a
I,
solid upper body. But like, I can't think of any
I
exercises that mirror clubs with body weight.
the best. So this is kind of so my body weight training is slightly different. So um, I would say start integrating like ancient wrestling movements because those things are not swinging, but you're going to get a lot of aspects of more mobility ranges. To me, the push up, the pull up, and the squat is just it's far too linear, far too linear, as opposed to Persian push ups like all
Oh yeah, like
time
Persian push-ups, of
stand
course, or dive bombers.
Persian,
Yeah,
yeah, Persian push up stand, for example, Betex or Hanuman Betex is my favorite. Russian lunges, they're sweet as well. They're not swinging something necessarily, but what you're doing is you're gonna create internal, external um,
yeah,
aspects, and you're gonna create rotational aspects as well.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the closest you can get to like a sword swing with a club and swinging it across.
yeah.
To do that, if you're doing a Russian lunge, you're going to have to generate that entire rotational component, for example. So that's what I would say. If that's the closest you'll get, those dynamic, it, yeah,
Yeah, the Persian
flexion,
push-ups,
flexion,
like
extension of the spine.
yeah, Persian push-ups, I think would probably be like the best for your if you're trying to really target the very similar muscle groupings as a mace and a club.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Persian
And
push-ups
you
would
can
probably be
do
the best bet.
volume. You can bang out volume.
Yeah.
Like my guys, like the standard is like a minimum 100 a day. Like you're just flowing, just sets of like the aim is like sets of like 50,
And at the end of the day, 100
and you
push-ups a day
flow.
is not hard.
You just flow. You
If it's
just flow with it. It just teaches your body with the extension, that entire wrap around, and then that extension with the thoracic
yeah,
opening up. Like that's what you want. Like that's what you want, and the Persians allow you to do that in a way. And I'll tell you what, they jack your heart rate up when you just go in on them.
and if you can't do 50, start off with 10. Start off with 10 every
Yeah,
hour. Do
yeah,
10 every
yeah,
hour and grow from there. Then next day do
yeah.
15 every hour. Then do 20 every hour. That's some of the things that you can do on your own, no matter where you're at.
100%. I think it is the one of the ultimate movements you could ever learn to do. Like because you end up, and the thing that you end up that's really hard without a pull up bar or pulling movement itself is getting the lats engaged. And the Persian push up is basically doing a pullover.
Yeah, yeah,
You end
yeah,
up coming deep, and you end up so it's like doing a roll out.
yeah.
So you do a Hindu or whatever you're doing. The Persian gets the lats involved. The Hindu allows you to get in deep, and then it allows you to create that foundation like that, and you can just flow through it.
Yeah, and
And
set up a timer and bang out as many as you can throughout the day.
dude, that's it. 2 minutes max threshold. Trust me. I used to work out when I used to work at a coffee shop. I used to work out in the stock room, and I put a timer on my break for 5 minutes of doing as many. I did my go to if I'm ever in an airport. So I need 30 Persians, 30 squats, air squats, right, or Hanumans. I'd actually do 30, 5 rounds. So I do 300 reps in 5 minutes. Not
Okay.
even that. Not even that. Like it takes about 3.5 minutes.
That's not a lot. Just getting your body moving. You don't want to stay
300
stiff.
reps, body weight, done like that, as fast as you can. 4 or 5 rounds, done like
That answers
that.
this
That
question then.
changes your, yeah.
This
Like,
question, the next question was, do you do much plyometrics? Which, boom, that basically answers
yeah,
that question off.
doing shit that wrestlers have done as a foundation. Like, I think the wrestler is the ultimate athlete. The
Yeah,
ultimate athlete is the wrestler. You should be doing shit that they do.
strength, conditioning, cardio, endurance, everything. It's
Just
all.
put whatever you're doing, put the hammer on it. Move your body, move heavy weight, and move it fast. Right.
Yeah,
Build your engine. This whole and I will piss a lot of people off, but I'm going to turn around and say, if you're active and you're walking enough, or you even sit in a sauna, stop fucking around in these hour-long. Unless that's your like bodybuilding, unless that's your actual training, like for an event, stop fucking around doing these hour-long runs and shit.
yeah, you don't
It's
need
utterly
to.
pointless. What this is where a lot of these athletes get it wrong, and when they work with me, the capacity is through the roof. Because what I'm doing is I'm practicing them at the threshold, and it's a different energy system. But the ability to do 20, like literally doing 10, 12 seconds, dragging it, you run it out for 40 seconds, and then you repeat that for 10 seconds max again. And you do that for 5 or 6 rounds. So you do 5 of those, and then you run it freely for a minute or two, and then you repeat that round again. So you're going to do 5 to 6 sets of 5 to 6 rounds of that. So you're doing 30, 40 minutes of sprint, and then run it, sprint, and then run it, right? That is wrestling. That's wrestling. That's judo. That's these long rounds and bouts. What's your capacity to go through the roof, sprinting as hard as you can, and then just free rolling on a bike or on a rower or anything, or running like super easy and moving? And then you go again, and then you go again, and you do not let that output drop
Mm.
at all. Start doing that and stop spending an hour running at a consistent pace. It's going to wear you out more. You're wasting more time. You have, especially if you're a fighter, you have set periods of time, that amount of volume you can take, bearing in mind your work is the fighting itself, and you're getting the shit kicked out of you or kicking the shit out of other people. You don't need to be doing more work than you need to. It's a minimum effective dose to make your fighting better.
Mm-hmm. And
Right?
recovery too.
Yeah.
The
Spend
best
time
fighters
doing
can
that.
fight, but they also know how to
Yeah,
recover even better.
definitely.
So,
Spend more time recovering and less time doing these stupid long zone 2 workouts and shit,
yeah,
because
oh
it's
my
not,
God, I was
you're
literally just
fit
talking
enough.
about this earlier today with somebody at my other gym, the private facility that I work for. I was talking about this, like the heart zone, the heart rate training, and all these zone training. Like, I've the more research I do, it's not that it's complete bullshit, but it's 95.5% bullshit. Like it's I'm sorry to break some hearts, but especially with the longevity aspect. when you look at a triathlon athlete with someone who has been doing endurance training and who's in their 70s, their bone structure and their muscular structure is completely different than someone who just focused on cardio and heart rate training and doing endless cardio with very little bit of muscle and
Definitely.
very, very high bone density, a very low bone
I've-
density.
and weirdly as well, you find people that end up having heart issues later on. Now, I'm not whatever. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to get your ticker going like that. Definitely not. But what I'm saying is, you do find these kind of anomaly situations where you have people that either do basic kind of like bodybuilding or people that do over endurance without the strength training,
Yeah.
and they just fucking die. They should die. Like they just drop dead out of nowhere. Like, or have like a chronic health issue that nearly killed them. And you look at it every time, and it's like and what's the common denominator there? It's overstressing the heart without capacity.
Hmm.
How do you build a capacity like that? How do you do that? You have to rag it. You have to send it. Sprint. It's just sprint. And when you look at longevity, it's obviously full body strength. They say grip strength. This is integrally, without that, nothing. But fundamentally, how strong are you,
Yeah.
right? And how quickly can you recover from hard bouts? Basically, that's basically the best indicator of so VO2 max. How much oxygen are you efficiently putting in? Your system works, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. Sprint hard, as I said, get your ticket going and lift heavy shit once in a while. And then do active strength training like wrestlers have for thousands of years in Persia and blah, 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 blah. Put some hot and cold in, done. That is literally your whole entire fitness done. You look at the Spartans, the Greeks, the Romans, what did they do? That was exactly their structure. When you
Yeah.
look at wrestlers, Persians, like Vikings, whatever, some sort of therapy, hot cold therapy, you can't walk for miles in Norway when it's the winter. It's 9 foot deep on snow, minimum everywhere. What are you doing there to get your heart rate up? You're probably moving heavy shit around because it's like dragging your life around in that environment, but you're in hot environments all the time. And then you go in the cold environment, you get your heart rate up, done. It's exactly the same effect sitting in a sauna without all the components that have damaged. The bullshit people had, I can't run anymore. Sit in the sauna because your
Yeah.
heart is
That's
exactly, not
standalone
exactly
cardio.
the same. It's exactly the same, except for that your knees aren't getting the pounding that you're saying was a problem, or should I say, bullshit, that you couldn't do anything to benefit your health.
Yep.
So
Listen,
there you go.
there's always something else. If you can't do one thing, guess what? There's always something else that we can do. It's
Do
not
what you can, not what you can't.
nailed it. All right, so we got a couple more questions left on this first page, and I think we'll save the next page for the next conversation for the next series because I definitely I enjoy making this into a series because we got a bunch of questions to go over, and we
There's a
also
lot. There was a lot of them.
yeah, and between your end and my end, like we got a lot to go through still. So I got just a couple more over here. We'll go through, and then I'll let you get on your day because I know you got a busy day ahead of you. Oh yeah, and just so people don't realize we're at a 12-hour time difference. So yeah, we're close.
We
I'm
top
getting
and
ready to
tail.
wind down, and he's getting ready to get after it. So
I'm gonna get some more coffee. I'm gonna. Oh mate, sorry. No, I'm gonna have on a Ronnie Coleman diet today. I'm gonna have a cup of Tren and just start your day with the basics, and
just the
then
basics,
we'll
a little
just
bit of
run it up.
D-ball.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All
This
right.
is Ronnie anyway. That's Ronnie.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, he is the voodoo behind behind powerlifting and behind
He's the better of
bodybuilding.
bodybuilding for
He is the
sure.
voodoo of
Eh?
bodybuilding. All right. Any tips on combining kettlebells, maces, and mace training on a weighted calisthenics program? Yeah, just fucking do it. It's
Mate, that was telepathy. I swear down.
that
Literally, I was like, "What the fuck are you waiting for? Just
just
fucking
fucking
do
do it. Just literally just fucking do it. Like just do like any tips on combining kettlebells? And yeah, it's literally throw on your weighted vest and get the kettlebell swinging. Throw on a weighted vest, do some sprints with it, and then come back, bang out some kettlebell swings, bang out some kettlebell
That's it.
squats. If you want to
The only
bang out some
thing
mace swings, bang out some mace swings too.
that's what I was going to say. What I was going to say is, have you tried sprinting and then doing swinging? Try that as a workout, like actual
Gas,
running, proper,
gas.
proper, like proper fucking like heavy mills or something, paired with sprinting, like 50 meters or a hill sprint, or like swings and then chuck the club and run with it. try that. That's the most primal shit you'll ever feel like you've ever done.
You
Firstly,
want to feel even more
secondly,
primal? Run with your mace.
oh mate, I've done that. Oh
Run with
mate,
your fucking
don't.
mace.
4 kilo mace will do you dirty if you run with that for half
For my
an hour.
lacrosse players out there, for anyone who's out there playing lacrosse, get your ass a mace
100%,
and get to running. I promise you, I have a little experiment going on right now with a couple of
definitely.
lacrosse
Yeah,
players. I have a little experiment. They're running right now with a 25-pound mace, and they're just going
right.
through the motions. They're going through the 25 pounds. They're running with a 12 kilo mace,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just running up and down. And I'm having
Mate,
them
that's
do the
heavy.
throws. Yeah,
That's really heavy.
yeah,
People don't know that to swing for you and I, that's a lightweight on one arm.
yeah.
To run with that for time is like I've done it with that. I ran around like where I used to live and not like around the arc of school
Your
hills, right?
shoulders burn like a
Dude, you have to
motherfucker.
change your grip. You have to change the grip on
Yeah.
your hands constantly. And the mace you can't put on the shoulder really. Like you
Nope.
feel like you're cheating with it. You have to hold it.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but I was
but
going to say complexity. I was just going to say
yeah.
before I forget complexity. If you are going to do shit like, as I said, like do you single arm kettlebell snatch or whatever you want to do, like that power thing, put it in order of complexity because it'll allow you to actually maintain more output. It's not about the fact that you're doing it proper form. You have to just
Get
sometimes you
gritty
let the
with
rough
it.
and drag.
Get gritty and get the
Yeah,
fucking weight up.
it's not perfect, right? The aim should make that heavyweight look like eventually. Sure, but it ain't gonna come in a day. But do it in order. So it's like bang out the single arm snatch complex or whatever you chuck a sandbag over your shoulder and then bang out the push ups or whatever you're gonna do with your dips, right? Do it in order of complexity.
Yeah.
Don't do it the other way around. Like do it in lessen the complexity so you can maintain the output because at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day, your body isn't going to differentiate. If you're a fighter or something, it's not going to differentiate between unless you're someone like you and I, where you can under fatigue swing a club in any position. Right? And so you get to that point, just do it in lessen the complexity as you go, and you'll benefit so much more from a
Yeah.
fitness perspective.
Listen,
And then you can
good
test the cognition later on.
a good circuit to run with that is something where if you can bring your kettlebell and your mace or a club to either track, and I would recommend, or even on a street corner or at the beach or wherever you want to have it a little bit more pretty. And usually, like something like this, like a 4-part workout where you bang out either 20 or 30 swings and then 20 to 30 mace 360s and then
Yeah,
sprint,
yeah.
come back, and then do it all over again.
Mate,
And
that's
then end with
exactly I've got.
push-ups, and then a
That's
whole full set of
exactly what I
push-ups.
got going on right now on my Spartan Physique program. That's literally what I have with the guys, and they were taking it. They were fucking stoked when they saw they were on that. And it's literally a 40 minute like carry. You get the heaviest club you can fucking get your hands on within reason. So like let's say 70, just off a brush off of between 50 and 70 pounds, depending on the level. And then you just carry it. So you carry it for 2 minutes on your shoulder, right? And then you come back, and then whatever you need to work on or whatever complex you want to do, or that shoulder squats, you don't put the club down for 40 minutes basically, and then you
Ooh,
swing it.
fuck.
So yeah. So like that's what I do. So like I do like 5 side casts, 5 shoulder casts, 5 swings on the other shoulder, walk it out for a minute or two, come
Oh, I'm
back.
gonna
You can
give this
make
a
it up
shot on
as you go,
Saturday. I'm
and you
done.
just
This
walk.
sounds maddening. I like this shit.
You just walk. You just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. So you're
I
doing a
like that.
30 kilo. For you, I'd say like like a 28 kilo club. That 70-pound club is good. 3
Oh,
to 5
fuck
reps
you.
of everything.
Can't let me
Yeah,
get away with
man.
lightweight.
You can't. You no chance. Like, mate, the grip builds up. But just shit
Yeah.
like that. If you're gonna do your zone 2 shit, whatever that is, do that sort of thing. You will far more engage. You will end up getting better at a skill that you need to do because you're intentionally getting the breaks in between, right? The list goes on. That's how you want to do it, and you will stick to it. You wonder why you're
Mm.
not getting results because you don't like what you're doing. If you have something like that, you feel like King Leonidas talking, right? And in the months, you're going to have skills that are probably 1% of what King Leonidas had as well because you're practicing something, you're building that system.
Yeah.
Shit
And
like that. It's just
you're following with something that you created, and you also were the was it the fucking the what's the word I'm looking for here? I can't fucking there's too many different things happen today that my brain is going crazy with. You're like the staple of it. Like you show
yeah,
exactly like what it's
benchmark.
supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
this actually is a I probably, yeah, I'm gonna go with this one over here. I like this one a lot. Is there any unconventional lifts you stopped because they didn't seem useful?
Yeah,
Yeah, which one would that be?
kettlebell swing.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm
Uh,
serious. I'm
I could.
serious. And people are going, what?
All right, I want to hear. All right, so this is where we could do a little bit of a agree to disagree for this part. But so what's your feel behind that one as far as like because even with the heavier bells, what I do feel is that after I go over 200 pounds, I feel a dramatic engagement in my grip, dramatic engagement in my quads, my glutes,
Yeah.
and just thrusting the fucking thing.
Okay, so the reason why I say kettlebell swing, broad context, is because most people don't have access to that amount of weight.
Oh
To
yeah,
make a
okay,
kettlebell swing look beneficial, you need to be doing something in the 5 to 10 rep max range, and every rep feels hard as fuck. Now, excluding that, I will say that from a perspective of movement, I would say that picking up a sandbag and bumping it to shoulder will create the exact same if you do it the way I coach my guys with the triple extension properly. Most people are trying to lift this shit with their glutes to them, and that's gonna fucking up. Their
right,
athleticism is left on the table. You have to you stabilize, you lock it, you get it on the lap, the sandbag, and then it's going for triple extension. You have to treat it like you're throwing it, not like you're putting it on your shoulder, correct?
right,
And that comes in with landmine uni approach as well in terms of it's a full all guns locked in,
yeah,
loaded, like it's full tilt or no tilt. With the kettlebell swing, that's teaching someone to lock in. What you're using a kettlebell swing for is you're using it to engage that muscle, to engage that system and that movement pattern because you understand how important that is. And you're kind of doing this instead of doing heavy deadlifts, basically. You're doing a ballistic equivalent of that hinge, that heavy hinge pattern.
yeah.
Now, now, when it's that heavy, you can't get that above, say, hip height. I mean, the top of the bell's coming like above here.
No, yeah, heavy ass bell's barely coming above the fucking belly
Yeah,
button.
that's what I'm saying, right? So your entire system is not even fully extended. Like your entire system is kind of like a partial RDL almost at some point, right? Now, when it comes to kettlebell swing, people doing with a 70-pounder, and they get to the point where their arms are doing stuff as well, stop doing that. This is a really bad idea because most people that are lifting their arm up, they're compensating. They're trying to front belt,
Yeah, and
raise
then you
it,
aggravate the lower back and then you
then
aggravate
they
the
lean it
shoulders.
back, etc. This is a really, really bad movement pattern. Really, really bad movement pattern. On top of that, you're teaching yourself to lean back, put weight in the heels. That's not just because you're activating a muscle does not mean that it's beneficial to your movement mechanics whatsoever. However, the kettlebell swing, the way you get around that is A, you make an investment like Tim has here and you get a stupidly heavy one. B, you get, so I do kettlebell swings. I don't do like that, I do gun swings instead. I do double gun swings, you've probably seen. And the way that I do them is fucking heavy and I
Yeah,
come off of the floor. I actually rip that shit. I rip it back and I pull into that scapula with a full, like almost triple extension. So I'm practicing that bottom half performance with the legs in the same way, right? Obviously, with the double like that, you can't really do that. But as soon as you widen that base with a double bronze swing, rip it back, suddenly you become way more explosive. So when you do it like that, or you get a really heavy kettlebell, this is my go-to heavy single bell over doubles any day of the week. And a single arm kettlebell swing, like 130 pounds, like 10 reps each side, like stable. Your grip strength will go through the roof. Your ability to generate power through one side of the body and glute. That torsion, that rip across, not resisting everything. You're ripping that shit in the landmine university context, right? But you don't
yeah,
have to worry about the clean. You're just ripping, ripping, ripping. The amount of strength you build when it comes to grappling, the ability to just manipulate people and throw their head and their arms around, like next to none. Next to none. Single arm. Don't even hand to hand. Don't even make it look fancy. Just run it up one side,
yeah.
rip and rip and rip and
Yeah,
rip
I was
and
doing
rip.
that shit earlier today with the 150. So yeah, believe me, I
Single
feel it.
arm
I feel it.
swings.
Yeah. So I
Fine.
think
Don't do kettlebell swings and do them stupidly heavy to make it like something that's super heavy posterior loading like Tim's doing. If you're like me, I don't have access to in the UK, you don't, or in Bali, you do double gunslingers. And you're learning to squeeze the glutes forward because you're getting it higher than the
yeah,
swings you're doing. You rip that shit in and then you learn to control the acceleration, deceleration coming through, right? When the bell's too light, you have no deceleration because your
No,
weight
you're,
is
you're
just
muscling
is
it.
heavy enough. Yeah, the weight, your body weight is enough to stop the weight from pulling you away, right?
Yeah.
This is why I'm an anti-kettlebell swinger.
Okay. I listen for those reasons, I can respect that. Like I totally can understand that too. So with the
Athleticism is what I mean. Is the athletic
yeah,
potential is very hindered, and
yeah.
the club, the steel club clean is far better for teaching posture.
I see exactly what you're saying with it. Especially, well, now especially with the two-hand cleaning, because it really, in order for you to properly engage the right muscles, you have to have your shoulder blades back. You got to have it tucked in, so it does teach better posture. So I
Yeah.
will say that. The next question. Oh, this is actually going to be a fucking fun one for us. What is your thoughts on these bodybuilders picking on kettlebells? I've seen a bunch of these people over the last like the mainstreamers, the fucking the one bald doctor, forgot his fucking name, and then
Paul
TNA.
Doctor.
Yeah, and then the TNA guy, TNA Fit, whatever his yeah, the TNF, yeah, TNF. Yeah, that's fucking goofy ass. All due respect, like I understand exactly, they don't fully understand the full benefits behind kettlebells, but they're also people who are too stuck in the traditional ways of bodybuilding. Like you're not going to go to someone who is fully locked in their bodybuilding career and you're going to try to convince them to completely change up their life. As much as they would be a very beneficial, their egos will never let that happen because their egos are so inflated that they will never try anything as challenging and as hard as kettlebell work.
Yeah,
Plain and
yeah.
simple. I hope I answered that right for you.
Mate, I spoke a lot on the last question about how you shouldn't use the kettlebell in a certain way, and now we're telling you do use kettlebells, but don't do that one movement because there's better
In
ways
other
to
ways,
do it.
there's so many
But
other ways to use kettlebells.
definitely don't do bodybuilding if you don't want to be a fucking pussy. The the
If it's
the
either lightweight
only
kettlebell swings or bodybuilding, I'd rather you see swinging kettlebell.
totally totally.
uh,
Um,
that was a pretty short answer. I mean, I didn't think we were going to go into too much detail with that one because at the end of the day,
I
also
mean,
like a lot of stuff is clickbait too. A lot of these clickbait
oh
TNF people
mate,
are gonna
that's exactly
fucking.
what I was gonna say because
Oh, sorry,
you know
I
what?
didn't mean to steal the words out of your mouth.
No, 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 no. It's alignment. Like I'm having a rest anyway. I need more Sheila Tren and black coffee. But no, on a serious point, like loads of people were knocking out, right? Like there's some excellent unconventional coaches out there. Stuff. And if one of them meatheads wants to come after you and tell you your biceps are smaller than mine, but you can still single arm clean 130 pounds, like it doesn't count. Who on earth does that? And it's like, well, who the fuck wants it? Fuck themselves up either. So I can
Well,
ask
tell me
the
what
question,
movement are you
right?
gonna do with this? Are you
Yeah,
training to hug
literally.
better? Are you training to give better hugs at the end of the day?
There's actually two scenarios where I think that it comes into, and the bench press or sandbag press or kettlebell floor press heavy for grapplers. It's an essential. It's an
Yeah, the push
essential,
the weight
and
off
for
of you.
and for strongmen as well. The
Yeah,
ability to squeeze a stone or like a barrel or something is essential. Like it's not all that. You have to actually squeeze in and pull in like
yeah.
that. If you can't do that, but that
And
aside,
breathe
like
vertically. People
yeah,
that people
yeah,
that constantly
yeah.
one of the things that they forget to do is that you can breathe vertically. You don't have to breathe outward and fucking have your lungs be compressed
Arching your
against it.
back or whatever. Yeah, arching your back, soft solar plexus, anything like that. Bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. Right. So, but um, yeah, just like the shit on social media piss me off. I just try and do
Oh,
my own
believe me,
thing.
that's
But
why I took a break for so long, and that's why I stepped away from because at the end
mate,
of the
it's
day, too,
toxic as hell.
I was just getting too mentally fatigued from listening to
It's
all these fucking numb-nutted
draining,
cunt rags. Uh,
mate. And like, but that's the thing. That's the thing. When they were putting those people putting the kettlebell stuff up, right? And it's fine if you've got some meathead that wants to shoot his little fucking gun at you, like go for it. But at the end of the day, what I could have done a video and explaining why he's got a big head, big biceps, low IQ, because he doesn't understand movement mechanics in the way he actually thinks he does. However, I just the first thing that came to my mind when I saw people that are renownedly known fitness coaches in the unconventional world shooting their gun like that, I'm not even shooting them to that level. The only reason why you're fighting back is A, flat, and B, because you're insecure about what you do. So the only thing you can do is just shoot the gun back because it's just a direct mirror. It's a direct mirror.
Hmm.
And like, sure, you're going to get views. Sure, you're going to get people contending and this, that, and the other. And as I said, if someone shoots the gun at you and then they record you telling you like, yeah, you're fucking this, that, and the other, and then you want to, screen record it and go, no, I'm explaining why this is beneficial with Mr. Meathead talking over the top, in his little video. I'm going to explain why. Fair enough, because that's you actually creating valuable content.
Yeah, it's
Explain why
content.
this is beneficial. But when it becomes a little bout between, like no one, the meathead never shot his meathead gun at you,
Uh-huh.
right? And now you're responding by fighting that back. And I'm like, have you really got?
Do you have that time? I don't, I
Especially
don't,
not
I don't have time. I
I
don't
have
have
time for
time.
that shit. Especially with the algorithm,
Yeah.
I'm sat there like trying to work out what do I put up next. That's valuable content for something that is like, do I put shit out there that's gonna try to blow up, or do I just put shit that's authentically me and stop worrying about
Authenticity will always win no matter
it's
what.
that's the time, yeah. The truth, the sun, the moon, the truth, isn't it?
It's
Um,
so to answer that question
it
there,
stands its time.
people are always going to have opinions. People are always going to say something no matter what. And you'll never be hated on somebody doing better than you. So at the end of the day, when I got a lot of shit for when I first started swinging clubs and maces and kettlebells and all that stuff in my gym, yeah, of course, I got a lot of looks. I got to say, what the fuck is this guy doing? But now,
There's
fast
respect.
forward
There
four
was
years,
respect in it though. It's fearful. It's a fearful response,
no
and they
one wants to try
respect you
something
for
new.
it.
No one wants to do something new
Oh.
and suck at it. No one wants to do
Mate, no,
something
it's an
new.
energy, dude. The aura, the energy. Because I mean, there's studies that literally show if you walk around with a knife in your pocket, the testosterone goes up. It's really, I mean, you're innately designed to carry a weapon as a man. You're designed to do that. So people that didn't use the weapon, but they just carried a weapon around with them on a daily basis, and studies all the testosterone increase purely because of feeling more masculine, right?
Hmm.
But when it comes to that, people that just do stuff like use heavy kettlebells, sandbags, whatever, like they're using heavy duty utilities, they train outside, just anything like that, cold plunges outdoors and stuff. That heavy utility aspect, the aura of the individual is so much different.
Yeah.
So much different.
So I'll end this off with the last question over here. And it's actually a more so related to your split because I think this is a good question to end off on, and then we'll get to all the questions on the next time. We're going to try to sit down again either next week or the week after. Again, this is a 12-hour time difference, so we're trying to make sure that we both hit the right time for both ourselves. But this next question,
We only tried 5 times.
it, it was a pain in the ass to fucking figure it out between my schedule and his schedule. I overslept one day because of the competition. I came back and I just crashed, and I was so shot from that. But definitely worth it
I had
again.
barley belly one morning. I shit in my
It's
pants.
a bodybuilding.
Fucking 3 coconuts that day.
All right. Do you deload or have time off? How often are you rotating your workouts?
Apart from when I was shitting my pants the other day, in a scenario like that, because I was so chronically dehydrated, I was dizzy, and my shit was yellow. Other than that, I do move every day. I train every day. I move every day. Very often, even on days I'm resting, I'll still swing a 20 pace around because my body probably like you. Your
Yeah.
joints are so used to it. Your joints are so used to swinging that heavy stuff. It doesn't really impact. Especially if you sat down and you try and do a day where you get a lot of work done, you feel like your body's just crunching up and compressing, and especially as a taller guy in the neck. So it's like just actually heavy swinging. It just rips the joints, and the decompression just floods in, right? So
I hear
you
my back
feel
crack
like
all
that
the
has
time,
to
every
be
single
done.
time when I'm doing
Yeah,
this. I get a good
exactly.
decompression every
Yeah,
single time. I'm a full
exactly.
believer that the mason, the clubs, and the if you are able to bring them around with you, they're phenomenal tools for active rest days. Like if you're somebody who is just trying to keep yourself moving, just
Nothing
trying to
else
get the body
compares.
going,
Yeah.
best way to keep your body moving, just throw on a timer for 10, 15 minutes and just do some 360s and just swing around and let the mace just move your body and break everything open. And this way you're not as sore, you're not as stiff for the next workout, and you're just keeping your body fluidly and you're keeping your body fluid, and you don't have to stress so much as you get older about limited range of motion and limited mobility because you're giving your body the best chance to fight against that.
Yeah, totally agree there. In terms of training, um, split. I don't have split.
Yeah. I figured as much. I'm the same way. I don't really have a split. It's more so just like what's not sore as much today and what can I train?
The thing is, you don't really get that sore doing this stuff either, unless I do something like. Well, I did that spot. I call it Spartan shit at the moment. That one with the club, and I accumulate in like 800 reps some days of just like club shit. Sometimes you forget and you overboard it, and your ass is just like swollen the next day. Like no amount of cold plunge is going to make it feel less sore, right?
No.
But like generally speaking, the only thing that I tend to do right now, there is no split. Right now, I'm actually just doing my own thing. I'm doing super high volume, like body weight and club shit. Right now, I'm not picking up anything heavy other than doing. They've got 100 kilo dumbbell in there, so I've been doing goblet squats, like really, really heavy. But other than that, I haven't really. The gym's just not a good format for filming. It looks too clean. There's people and influencers shitting all over me around me, with
Oh,
their
it sounds
silicone
like it's in
tip.
my gym.
Yeah, silicon tits, lip filler, fucking roids, all knocking around me, and I just can't be arsed with it. So I just swing it club and tumble them a bit. So like I just rock and roll like that. And then, but generally my split, even back in the gulag, would generally be like this is more. Every single week there'd be some kind of pulling focus, pushing focus, or it'd be a bit more lower body dominant. Like, and it's not in a conscious way, but in the sense of like I'm just gonna fuck in a lunges today.
Hmm.
Right. Or it might be or equipment modality focus, like heavy sandbags today. It might be like heavy sandbags, so just focus on the pull, ripping hard and getting on the shoulder. Next time I put like no mercy complex. So it's once again full body, but just kettlebells. And
Shit.
then another day number three might be 6 or 7 rounds with like sandbag clean and press. That's one of my all-time favorites. Sandbag clean and press, back-to-back rounds, sandbag clean and press, single arm heavy cleans with a kettlebell or something, and then club mills or swings or something. Heavy club shit, all heavy relatively, but because it's upper body, it's not heavy compared to lower body
Yeah.
weight. Just shit like that. If I'm reeling particularly tax, then like floor press with a sandbag as opposed to so much holding shit up. That's the kind of split I go. I go off of more volume, less volume, more volume, less volume. Although recently I've been playing a little bit more around with how the ancient Spartans used to. So this is the stuff that people can't get coaching with me because obviously you're in the gym, so your format's a little bit more structured. But for
Yeah.
me, I can move stuff around way more in terms of people training at home and what they're willing to invest into. We can fuck around and play with it, like.
Hey, listen, the
And
right people are right and invest in the right equipment because you're
yeah,
gonna invest in the right
mate,
trainer.
I get fucking like, and when it comes to that, I've been playing around a little bit with the ancient Spartans prescribed system, presumably, as we think they used, and using that kind of system is it works very, very good for fighters. It works very good for people that aren't fighters because they can become unconventional war gods, basically, because you're taking everything off. And it balances itself out. And I hate the word balance. But what it does is it just stops you over pursuing things. And with that training system, it really targets in on the recovery component.
Hmm.
There's certain criteria and shit like that
Yeah, see
from the
how I'll tell
diets
you.
and this and that. So that's how I do my split, and I'm very I experiment a bit, but I've been doing this shit so long, like I know intuitively, like
What's
all my
next?
clients will go, yeah, my clients will go, you just know exactly the amount of volume that I need. It's never too, I don't feel burnt out. You push it and right to that point, and then I'm like, cool, the next day I'm not training hard and it drops it. So my split personally is based on experience. I have you got to bear in mind as well, asking a split of a coach is a bit in the air because Tim and I are doing shit that isn't part of the workout.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Tim
Yeah.
might be doing fucking 3 hours of demos that day. So he's done about 500 light club swings that day, and he hasn't even worked out yet.
Yeah, seriously, especially all the demos with all the fucking demos
Right.
of like, teaching people what to do in
Right.
person. Yeah, you're still getting your workout in all day long, and then you get your
Yeah,
actual
yeah, yeah.
workout in.
Exactly. People like G cold plunge. I'm like, not anymore because I just spent 6 hours in the gulag. Like back in England, teaching people like in the concrete cold block, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to add cold therapy into the equation. I was walking around topless in 10 degrees anyway. Like, so
Fucking nut.
yeah, like when it comes to stuff like that, just look at the individual when it comes to looking at splits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because and even these guys, honestly, even these bodybuilder guys, I guarantee you they're freestyling at this time. They do not have a set. Like you look at Arnold, for example, when he's doing his bodybuilding routine. And you look at it and he's going like, I'm just going to keep going to pump pumps. He doesn't have a prescribed, like he knows what movements are in his library,
Yeah.
but he's just going to go until his body feels like he's done enough.
See, and essentially that's I personally, I think it's the ideal way to train. Let your body get to a point where it really feels like it can't do anymore, then eat right and sleep right.
100%. And I will say to anyone that's a fighter out there, if you've got someone who's prescribing you in a program, get rid of it.
ASAP. Either one of
They're
us.
treating you. They are treating you. This is the beautiful thing with the clubs and stuff. You really do just throw that out of the window. Like, sure, you could do like kettlebell squat, double front squats, or whatever, and you can prescribe a 5x10 or whatever you want to sort of stuff. But that's like generally the unconventional stuff. It really you understand that even if you fail picking up a sandbag, you still did a rep because it's not like a deadlift where it's a very numerical linear thing. Every
Yeah.
rep's so different and it's so tactile, and the club's a different thing as well. Like you genuinely like yes, you can use your grip on many units, but if you're swinging a club around, you don't know when that comes, you don't know what rep that is, etc. It's far more. Yeah, you're quicker thinking. You're moving around. It's about movement itself.
Yeah. Listen, at the end, it's a great training style that all can actually benefit from. It doesn't matter what athlete, if you're a non-gym goer, if you're someone who just wants to get their body right and feel better and be
Everyone
a bit more
wins.
mobile. It's for
Everyone
everybody.
wins.
It's for
Everybody
everybody.
wins. Is human appropriate species specific movement.
Hmm. Well, brother, man, listen, this has been an awesome time. We did, let's see, roughly about an hour and a half. So I think we got a good we got what was it, like 6 or 7 questions answered. Definitely gonna try to get some more questions answered the next time. But until the next
We could
time,
change the topic maybe next time. If anyone wants more like philosophy or mindset related, message us.
yeah,
If they need to, or whatever, we can do that.
yeah,
We
we can
can
run this
talk
back in
about
about a
less
week or two.
training stuff. Yeah, we can jump between like training specific, mindset related, life topics a bit more. Whatever
Philosophy,
people
all that
want
stuff
to know
too.
or interested in, we can talk about it. But if you don't say anything, we won't know. So
Exactly.
put a word
So
in.
please,
Put a word in. Engage with us, and we can answer questions.
exactly. We're not robots. By all means, we'll answer questions. Shoot us DMs. Either one of us. Comment down below. Anything you guys need. By all means, we're here for you guys.
I'm gonna
So
try and
real
get Ronnie Coleman on.
yes. All right. So real quick for all the new people, where can they follow you and where can they purchase the program at?
You can follow me on Instagram, Mercy underscore denied. It'll come up. You'll know the page when you see it. And my programs, so I use Somble where you can buy programs, but if you want one-to-one coaching, you can just directly message me on there, or you can apply with a link, like the form of my bio. Just click on it, you put the details in, and I just set up a call with you. We can get you started. So jump on
There
it
you
like
go.
that. Simple as this shit works. Whoever's coaching you, this shit works. Don't come in for training, don't sleep on it.
All right, brother,
Actions
man.
speak louder than words, that's for sure.
Yeah, saying that it works is an understatement because also you got those medals right over here hanging up. Yep, that's from that competition. All that shit works. Believe me, all this shit fully works. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Loaded.
all right here.
Oh, banging slang. There's so
Oh,
much
that bang and
bang and
clang.
clang on there.
Yeah, bang and clanging. Yeah, from all the years of banging and clanging. All right, brother, man. I truly appreciate you. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Awesome stuff.
I'm gonna get right to editing. I'm gonna try to get this episode out tomorrow.
Nice one. Good shit.
Take care, brother, man.
Good
Appreciate you.
chat. Catch
Have
you
fun.
around
Get to working.
in a bit.